Let's kick off with E4. 1837, GTO Nemesis plays the Sicilian. Plays a main line. And he goes for the Naidorf. So I like to play the English attack against the Naidorf, although there are other lines. He goes for the immediate E5. So he can push this knight around. I'll probably come forward. But the plan is to castle queenside and then push these pawns against his kingside. Looks like he's getting ready to castle. Yeah, I'm just going here. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Is he just winning a pawn there? Yeah. That's a bit unfortunate. So if I push here, he takes a pawn, I take a pawn, but then he takes my queen. Well, I think I have to play this. So I needed to get in there one move quicker. Okay, well, if he wants to open up the D file, that's okay with me, especially with his king still in the center. And now he wants to move the pawn. Okay, yeah, let's push another pawn here. He wants to take my bishop. Oh, I have to think about this. If he takes my bishop and I take back with the queen, my rook is hanging. So I have to defend my rook. So now he takes the bishop, I take back with the queen. My rook is hitting his queen. And this pawn push hits the rook in the corner. The rook can move to the C file, threatening on, but he doesn't. Okay, so I can take a pawn here. He can take a pawn there. What's best? But if I trade first and then push this pawn. Queen is looking at f7, but it's well defended. It's got queen and king on there, and he can castle. So he's just going to push pawns. Let's see. So I need to activate this knight. I guess it has to come out over this way. He's taking this not castling to extremes. Let's put a rook here. Oh, he's threatening this fork. I should deal with that first, huh? Guess that's an okay square for me. Okay, I can attack his knight. See where it wants to go. Well, for some reason I thought he was winning a pawn there, but it looks like that's not the case. He's just a pawn. The pawns are even. I guess we'll blockade here. Push the pawn and take on h7. Bring the knight to f5. Maybe. So if I push the pawn, and he trades queens and then takes back, huh? Well, this endgame is not particularly good for him. Let's activate this rook. Let's hit that knight. I know he can take my bishop, but it's protected, and I am hitting 2 pawns after he trades. Oh, this pawn is defended. He just has to defend this one. So it's knight versus bishop. In the end game, yeah, my pawns are on light squares. Let's try and activate my pawn majority. Aha, he thinks that this is a winning endgame for him. I think it looks pretty good for me. Let's blockade here. I'm preparing to play, yep, so let's bring the king out. Yeah, maybe I played that too hastily. Okay, so pawn takes here, I guess. Oh, if I do that, then he will, yeah, I'll just leave that. What to do, what to do? Yeah, I need to get my king over to this square, I guess. Get my king to c4, and then I can play b4. And I'll have a mobile passer here. It's all about the passed pawns. Can't come here, and he can't come here. Let's just keep his king out. Can't move his bishop without losing this pawn. It's funny how he's so eager to trade into this endgame. Which, if it's not winning for me, it's at least I'm the one with winning chances. Can't ever take the knight. And they just run him out of moves and then promote the pawn. Oh, well, that was a nice win. Here, let's see if we can get another game. Maybe a rapid game here. Okay, let's try d4 this time. Anarchist Rossetti. No country. No move either. Let's try again. Here we go. Libra 69. Oh, 2006. Let's see what he plays. I do hope we get a game. Wow, this is 2 in a row. That's very unusual. 2 in a row games. People. He did move. I'm going to play the elections. I've been trying to get this, and I haven't been getting it. People have been playing other things. Yeah, they've been sort of declining the elections defense by playing moves like knight c3, just defending the pawn, which often goes into a 4 knights or a Vienna game. Yeah, so here's another example of doing something weird for no particular reason. Maybe there's some trick if I take the pawn. I didn't even think about taking the pawn. I should have calculated that, huh? So now he decides to defend it. Let's go ahead and kick that bishop. Where are you going, bishop? Want to go back to d3, defend that pawn twice? Good choice. Or c4, I play d5, and you'll have to move the bishop again. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Does he really think he's winning with this? Does he really think that? Okay, can drop his knight in here or here. Don't see a problem yet. He has a dark squared bishop, so if he can get that bishop trained on one of these squares, could be a problem. Maybe he's just playing a handicap game here. First he tried to give a pawn, and when I wouldn't bite on the pawn, then he tried to give me a piece. I took the piece. It's pretty rare that a random sacrifice like that is valuable, is worthwhile. It's rare that you get enough compensation for a sacrificed piece, unless there's an immediate tactical refutation, which there doesn't seem to be. So I guess he's trying to lull me into some false sense of security here. Let's shore up the center and develop my pieces. Do the usual stuff. Looks like bishop to g4 and knight to d4 would be pretty strong here. I can play knight to d4 even if he plays h3. Because I'll be hitting his queen. Ah, so I moved his queen. Okay, so I should think, I guess. His knight is unpinned. He can come into various squares here. His queen is no longer on a good diagonal. My bishop can be kicked, which is true. He's going to want to push this pawn forward and develop his bishop, I guess. And I think I should just get castled. What is this queen looking at on this diagonal? Here, here, and here. This knight can hop in here, so maybe looking at this one. Still, I think I should just castle. So it looks like he's not going to give up. He's going to try and make a game of it. And I can still mess up. Definitely a possibility. I wonder if I can play knight to h5 to f4. Well, another possibility, taking advantage of my extra piece, is just to trade that knight off and play knight to e4, hitting the queen. I assume he takes with the queen. And then also hitting here. Can bring the queen back to defend. Maybe he takes with the pawn there. Okay, so he goes and does that now. Let's go ahead and do these exchanges. I'm getting rid of this knight, so I have the square e4 for my knight. d4 rather. So that I can take his knight, pawn takes. Ah. So maybe that's not such a great idea. If I take his knight. If I just put my knight here, he can actually kick it. I can't because there's a fork. So I can go ahead and put my knight here to start with. Threatening the fork of rook and queen on c7. Also interfering with the queen's view of this diagonal so he doesn't have knight to b6, which is sometimes annoying. Like if your queen is here and your rook is here, knight b6 is a fork, but if you watch out for it, it doesn't happen. So he moves his queen. So if I play rook to c8, looking at c2 there, he will kick that, right? The knight could come to here. And in the meantime, I've activated my, the knight can come to e6. That's what I'm thinking of after he plays c3. Well, let's see. He's surprised me before. Maybe I'll have other ideas. No, that's what he played. Anyway, all of his pawns are ending up on dark squares, locking in his dark squared bishop. So now I could take the knight, and then my knight would have a very good square here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Oh, I assumed he was going to take with the pawn. He could take with the queen. It's a possibility. This is a loose pawn here. But yeah, he did take with the pawn in the end. And this is what I get. So I can start thinking of bringing my pieces over and then mating him. If I can mate him before he mates me, that's a good answer to this situation. I'm not quite seeing it. Let's see. Of course, if I got my queen to g2, that'd be mate, but he's going to play rook g1. And, I can put my knight on h3 to make him move his rook. I could start with bishop here. Maybe he will push his d-pawn forward, try and undermine my center. That kind of makes sense. I suppose I could have castled at various times here, but it just seemed like it'd be a waste of time. And also it gives him a target. If I castle, he's going to open up, he has opened up the G file, so he's got a ready-made attack on the G file. Anyway, rook g1, knight h3. Rook comes up. I don't know. I was thinking, well, if the knight were already on h3 and he played rook g1, then I could play here with a fork. Bishop takes f2 with a fork. But that's not ever going to happen, is it? Okay, so he is going that way. So if I bring my queen out, this is with the mate threat, so let's go ahead and do this. No, let's do this first. I want to have a, when his rook comes back to g1, I don't want to give up the g-pawn. So, I was thinking queen g5, rook g1, and I would move the queen. Oh, he just takes there. Oh, what an idiot I am. Oh, that's embarrassing. Really needed to castle that time. Okay, what can I play? Guess he has to keep the rook on this file to maintain the pen. So my lack of castling finally caught up with me. I should still be a little better here, but that is annoying. Yeah, so he hits the bishop. I can just drop back here, I guess. Yeah, I thought he might do that. So now if I bring the queen out, he can take it because he's got the bishop defending the queen there. If I castle, he will take the pawn. Still, it's the best choice, I think. I'm planning to bring my bishop back to f6. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's a pawn up. Oh my gosh. Okay, he wants to lose. He just wants to lose. Not content with giving me a piece, he gives me a queen. Really crazy. One of those games that makes you go, what the heck? What the heck? What country was he from? I'm just wondering. Yeah, maybe it's a country where they drink a lot or something. That was a win. Okay, I'll play one more game here. Let's play a quick game. I don't know what to say about that game. My, no idea. We'll see what Orchid does at 3 and 2. Oh, he plays the old London system. Here, let's get the bishop outside the pawn chain. Oh, very solid. Here, let's pose bishops. Let's kick. Let's oppose bishops. Okay, I don't want to lose that pawn on b7. He's now got a weakness there he can exploit. Let's go ahead and castle here. Let's go ahead and take his bishop. Knight to c6 might be a problem, but not at the moment. Let's threaten something here. See if he notices that there is a mate threat. Ah, he did notice. Okay. Let's bring my rook over here. I want to chase this knight away. I'm trying to figure out the most effective way of doing it. There's a fork here, which my knight is currently guarding. I was just realizing if I could play knight there to chase his knight away, he could drop into c6, and I would have to move my knight again. Okay, looks like he wants to keep control of that square. Let's kick the queen. Okay, the queen goes back. Let's push the pawn. I'll take. Okay, bring the knight out. Threaten his knight. He doesn't care. Okay, let's take his knight. Take the pawn. Bring the queen down over here, opposite his king. And bring the bishop out. Let's open up some structures here. Orchid, yeah, I guess his skill here is playing really fast, but fast is not necessarily good. So I can take here, hitting his queen. Even though my bishop is under attack. And let's see, I can take here because that's with check. Take here because that's with check. And I can save my bishop. Hitting his pawn, I'll attack this pawn next. And get a solid defense for myself there. Okay, so let's go here. Let's put my rook opposite his king again. I didn't like that one. Okay, so what to do? Put it on a solid square, I guess. Let's see, so if I go here, he has a check. Let's step up. Step up with my king, and so he wants to play some trick here. So let's attack the rook. Yeah, that little trick, I was waiting for that. So now, let's see if I can get a passer faster than he can. What's the way to do it? First, I have to go to this square, I guess. And I have to take there. So it's a bishop against 3 pawns. Let's see, I can't really get those pawns through without the help of my king. So let's go ahead and get them going. I also need to stop this pawn from coming forward too. Let's see how he plays this. I have pawns on both sides. Now it's in danger. Let's go ahead and round up this pawn. So I can't lose. I just need to move fast enough. I see. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a draw, but anyway, that's all right. Okay. Anyway, that's it for this session. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.